On today's episode of Locked On Avalanche, the Avs beat the Columbus Blue Jackets and clinch their ticket to the postseason. And Cale Makar pretty much clinches his Norris Trophy. I think it's pretty safe to say that. Let's talk about all of it. New episode of Locked On Avalanche coming at you.
You're Locked On Avalanche, your daily podcast on the Colorado Avalanche. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Locked On Avalanche podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day. I'm your host, Chris Maselli. With me, as always, Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. Thank you for tuning in, making this your first listen of the day. That is always appreciated. If you want to get in on the conversation, join our subtext. Link is in the show notes below. Chat with Kyle and I one-on-one. We get your opinion, everything Avalanche related, and share it on this very podcast. We will be discussing the Avs 7-3 win over the Columbus Blue Jackets. Cale Makar, like we said, making some history, and what's to come for the Avalanche this weekend, because there's a pretty big game coming up. We'll kind of touch on that. So let's dive in, sir. I was interested to see how this game was going to play out because of how the Avs played the day before against Chicago. We use the term lackluster. They did come out on top on that one miraculously, but you're turning right around. You're in less than 24 hours. This puck drop time was earlier than the night before. So, it's not a long flight to Columbus, but you're playing right away. And you're also playing without two key players in Jonathan Drouin and Martin Necas, who both had the day off because of injury. We know why. It wasn't like they were taking a night off. Both of them hurt. Drouin was hurt. He never came back in the game against Chicago. Necas did, but could have been one of those things, especially the way that injury went. Could have been like overnight, it tightens up a little bit, so they gave him a night off. So you were interested to see how this game was going to play out, because obviously they are big pieces of this puzzle for the Avs, and took a little bit to get going, but once they did, you couldn't really. It was just like one of those games where the floodgates opened, and to the tune of 7. I thought you might get your 10 here, sir. I thought there was an outside shot, but wasn't meant to be. You'll get it someday.
I had somebody reach out on X and said, "Oh, your 10 spot's coming." I said, "Don't play with my emotions. I know better. I have been waiting on this for 25 years."
But we'll talk about that, but it just shows you how difficult that is to do, because the Avs were cruising in this thing. But what do you think?
Everybody contributed, and it was interesting. Like, you can't use they're on the second game of a back-to-back. Did not look like it. Honestly, it was a little bit of slow going, especially that like early in the first. I don't know what it is about is there something up with Zambonis or what is going on? Like, ice early in the games to start games, it has been weird and wonky for this team to get their footing. But once they finally did, especially in that second period, the tides really started to shift, and the third, it was a no-doubter all the way through. And for this, like, 7-3, outstanding team performance. Like, this is the games that we were talking about. Like, go get your mojo. You have it coming out of this game, especially going into the big game of the weekend. But how does VC end up a -1 in this? I will never understand.
Did he really? I didn't even look at that. Let's see in the box scores. See and Colton is a -1.
Yeah. Colton was also
-1. And Lindgren's a -1 as well. Wow, that's good job, boys. It's impressive. You got 2 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third. But even like in the first, it just, I don't know. Like you had the Nathan McKinnon goal early. He scored the first one. Monahan tied it up, and then you get another one from Brock Nelson. Really nice play where it's Makar kind of just throws it off the boards, and Nelson's right there to kind of get the rebound and put it in. So it's like I don't know. Like the first period, I didn't hate it, but I just felt like they were needed to snap out of just playing the night before. And not that they looked bad, but they didn't look, they almost needed to be like, like opportunistic with their chances and really put them home, because I kind of had the vibe of like it's going to be tough to get goals again. I don't know why I was thinking that. It was just the vibe I was getting watching the game. I'm glad I was totally wrong. But what I really liked was Columbus took the lead in this game, and you saw the response from the Avs. We say that all the time, and that's true for any team in this sport. You want to bounce back and see what you're made of when you get behind. And I think that was a big moment for Colorado, because you're now trailing. You could, all the excuses in the world you can throw out. We talked about the ones that you could have used already, and we're 5 minutes into this episode with the injuries that you had, back-to-back game. You could throw all that stuff out. And then when Columbus takes the lead in the second, I'm not saying you could have packed it in, but maybe some people were thinking that way. The way that the Avs played, all of this talk about, well, you're kind of locked into your position. You win this thing and you clinch your spot in the playoffs. So I think that is what kind of motivated the Avs to, like, let's just get that over with. You could have, there's other scenarios where if Calgary lost, you still clinched, but you don't ever want to put that into another team's hands. If you can control it, you go out and take care of it. And I was impressed. I was impressed with how the Avalanche, everything kind of going against them, especially the past couple days, how they turned it around and regained that lead, and then just kept on going. Didn't let Columbus get back into the game. I think that was the most impressive thing for me.
Yeah, and this team started to rebound and recover, and like we'll talk about it in depth in a little bit, but like Blackwood, those goals that he let up were a little shaky.
Yeah,
and it's like that's another guy that needed to get in there and lock in and really build. And it was like the whole team kind of looked at each other and they're like, kind of like shook it off, like, okay, this is enough. And everybody joined in. Like you went from Nathan McKinnon, Cale Makar, Charlie Coyle joined in. Like you got everybody like jumping in, contributing to the fight. And it felt like the team as a whole woke up. Like, yes, it is win or lose, you're going to be eventually in the playoffs. If it was this game, if it's Saturday, you're going to get there. You're going to get in the playoffs. Like, there's really nothing on the line, but you need to start building. And it felt like the team decided all at once, we're starting now. Because because again, you look forward a little bit, you need mojo going into Saturday. You need to continue to build through the rest. You have a handful of games. You can't just keep having games go to shootouts, prolonging it. You want to get home. You want to recuperate. You want to recover. And you have Natchez, you have Drouin. You want to get the whole team back together. And it felt like they understood, okay, guys, the cruise control thing is great, but we got to wake up now. And you saw them respond. And Columbus is another hungry team, trying to build, but the environment in Columbus and Chicago, night and day. Even though you get to hear the whip by Loxley again, the old Avalanche goal song from years gone by.
Right.
It was nice to see the team wake up all at once, and you feel a little bit more confident going into the matchup against the Blues.
Well, let's just talk quickly about just that, like you said, the Avs clinch, right? They punched their ticket to the postseason, and just talk about that for a minute, because it's what a long, strange trip it's been this year for the Colorado. There you go. For the Avalanche, they're a playoff team. It's not like that was really in doubt for most of the year. But this has been, it's so weird. Like every year we say, like there's something to be said about an Avalanche team and, overcoming something. For years in the past, it's always been most of the time injuries. You've had a couple of those this year. I mean, every team has that. It's not exclusive to the Avalanche. This year it was goaltending to start the season. And they completely changed the face and the look of this team methodically as the season went on. You don't see a team do what the Avalanche did that have Stanley Cup aspirations. They are built. It's weird. You can say they were built to win a Stanley Cup at the beginning of the season, And then quickly they realized this ain't the team and started making the moves with the Wedgwood deal and all through December, January, up until the trade deadline. And the team you have now is definitely primed to make a playoff push. And you still have those Stanley Cup aspirations. It's been a wild season. And like I said, it's never been in doubt that the Avalanche were not a playoff team, but it just seemed to take a different route than normal to get there in terms of clinching a spot than in years past.
And you know what's also crazy about it? It wasn't too long ago that we were talking about going into seasons. Is Nathan MacKinnon ever going to hit that century mark? Is he ever going to get to 100 points? It felt like it was unobtainable for so long. And now it's almost like a lock. He's trying to go for back-to-back Hart, and he's doing everything in his power. And it's like, what can you say against this campaign this year? And then when you see Cale Makar and what he's doing, he's getting golf claps for, honestly, night in, night out performances that we take for granted. And he's like, I mean, we'll get to Cale Makar in a second, but this team is putting up legendary numbers after rebooting the team. Goalies, defensemen, forwards, getting rid of Mikko Rantanen. Like, this team is completely overhauled, and not just to improve to get through the season. Like, this team is scary coming out of the West, especially when you lock everybody into playoff mode. Like, it's crazy to see. I would say at the beginning of the year, it was questionable when you see this team dropping games to the same Columbus team, to Anaheim, and you have Georgie as your 1A and Juice as your 1B. Like, it was questionable if this team was even going to survive. And they were fighting for that wild card spot, and now they're locking up their spot in the playoffs, sitting third in the Central. Like, it's been an interesting ride, an interesting reboot, and you went from just improving to this team might have a chance.
Right. That's why it's been crazy. It's been just such a roller coaster to watch this team this year. Just frustration at times. Other times it's like, oh, the flip has been switched. They figured it out, and then they go back down. And so it's just, but now you do feel like things are settled in, and they're as good as they're going to be. As good as they're going to be. And, and despite all that, they are, let me check really quick here. I want to see what number team they are to actually clinch. So you have the Jets, the Capitals, the Stars, Vegas, Carolina, and the Maple Leafs. So they're, the seventh team to clinch. That's not bad for a team that was just all over the map this year, really.
And
you're
team
at the top. You're towards the top.
A team that was trying to praise Georgie as their starting goalie, and now you lose Natchez and Drouin, and you're putting in VC and Miles Wood. I think you're sitting in a good spot.
Yeah. You mentioned Cale Makar, history made by him. So we'll talk about that and then get to our subtext people, of course. So we'll do all of that coming up next. Let us hear from 5 Hour Energy. Daylight savings time snuck up on us again. And if you're feeling that lost hour still, 5 Hour Energy has your back. The extra sunshine means more time for fun, but sometimes you need a little boost to power through. And whether you're staying up late to watch the NCAA tournament, Kyle's going to be, squeezing in a round of golf after work, or just trying to keep up with your busy day, 5 Hour Energy gives you that quick, refreshing pick-me-up whenever you need it. So head over to 5hourenergy.com to find over 15 flavors to choose from, including watermelon, blue raspberry, and peach mango. And you can even build your own 12-pack or 24-pack and have it delivered right to your door. But if you can't wait and you need one now, grab a 5 Hour Energy shot at your local grocery or convenience store, because they are everywhere. Stock up and stay energized with 5 Hour Energy and 5hourenergy.com. Mr. Cale Makar, this was the kind of like milestone I was hoping he would hit, because if he did, I don't think there's any way you can not give him the Norris Trophy. He gets the 30 goals in a season, which for a defenseman just does not happen all the time. When was the last time they said it happened? 2009, 2010, yeah. I think.
It's ninth on the list in NHL history. That's quite a feat.
It's crazy. We still got a few more games to go, so I don't think you can catch the record. The record is in the 40s somewhere, but which I'm pretty sure is Bobby Orr. Everything is Bobby Orr. But just getting to the 30 mark for a defenseman is incredible. And you're gonna have conversation of because I think it's just what the media has to do, and you can't really have a runaway award winner. It's not good for ratings, so to speak, with the exception of the Vezina. I don't think you can really have a conversation. You can have a conversation about who else is maybe the nominees, but
Thompson.
that is Connor Hellebuck all day long,
Yeah.
and that's over with. But for the Norris, and I think with the Norris, you have other great defensemen in the league. That helps the conversation, right? It's always going to be Makar. It's always going to be Quinn Hughes. This year it's Zach Werenski. You still have Adam Fox. There's so many guys in the league now that you can have that conversation. But for him to get to 30 goals, that is kind of like the bar of how do you not vote for him? And if you're out there shouting it's a defensive award, it's a defenseman award. It's not playing defense, which is a big deal, which, oh, by the way, Cale Makar is very good at. I think it gets lost that because he put up such gaudy offensive numbers, people feel like his defense is suspect or his defense is lacking or he doesn't put as much effort into the defense. That is false. Last year, he had a rough year defensively. I will grant you that. That's really not the case this year. And offense plays a part in a defenseman's game. So it's just the way that the sport is played this year. And he's kind of redefined that or brought that back to the way that we think of how defensemen play. So it's not just you need to play defense only to win the Norris. You really do need to be playing both offense and defense. He's got that on lockdown. And to score 30 points, I think really just solidifies the award for him for this year.
Yeah, I think honestly, Cale Makar, and I mean, he's hitting incredible numbers, and we talk about this all the time. Whenever you have comparables to Cale Makar, it's never a peer; it's always a legend. So you're doing something special, and he's changed the game. Like when he started, your typical defensemen are like Zdeno Chara, like Big Z, like you're big lumbering guys, and now it's you got to have somebody quick and speedy, but not just quick and speedy. You've seen Cale Makar doing the stand-up just shoulder check and completely just stop you in your tracks. He's physical. He plays defense. Oh, and he scores, by the way. Good luck trying to scout that. Good luck trying to find that. The Avalanche got lucky with finding a guy who excels at all three mediums of the game. And you're trying to put together defensemen that could do just one, maybe two facets of that. And Cale does it with ease every night. And still gets on social media with his wife, and he's just like, look how adorable I am in my life. Like, Cale does it all. And we take him for granted because you see it night in, night out. He eats cookies on the bench. Like, what can Cale not do? He is transcending the game and honestly changing the position and how teams are looking at the position, seeing how he feeds players like Nathan McKinnon with Natchez, like how he adds to the forwards by what he provides offensively on defense.
You mentioned Chara, and that's a great kind of analogy of where the position was. But even to make it a little bit more recent, it was right up until Victor Hedman, on Tampa. He's a guy that's he's just a big dude, and that's your prototypical defenseman. And I think that's where the line started of not getting away from it. I don't want to say you don't have those kinds of defenders on your team. You do, but your number one guys, your first pairing guys are offensive defensemen now. And that's not to take away from Hedman. He's still a number one guy for his team. He still does what he does very well, but it's amazing how he's not in the conversation anymore when we talk about, Norris winners. And it's not that he's doesn't play well. He's still one of the better defensemen in the league. But what do we look for now when we're talking about our top pairing guys? It's Cale Makar. It's Quinn Hughes. It's those guys. And you got to be fast. You have to have an offensive touch. And yeah, of course you have to play defense. It's built into your position. But the Hedman type of defenders, it's taken a turn. I think that's where the handoff was was from someone how Victor Hedman plays the position, which is still very valuable, to they kind of handed it over to how Cale Makar does it. And you see it in just what he means to the team. Not even what he means to the team, Kyle, what he means to the league. It's incredible. And even like youth sport, he's that guy where in youth hockey, like those kids want to like emulate.
Yeah.
He's like the Steph Curry. Everybody's taking threes now, and all the kids want to take threes. Like kids want to play defense now because of Cale Makar.
Yeah, and to make the position like attractive to where it was just where you put your big guys. You can't play forward, you play defense. No, you grow up wanting to play defense because we always say you're quarterbacking the blue line. Well, you're now a quarterback with weapons. You're a mobile quarterback now. It's the evolution of the game. Like you have gone from your big, like Randall Cunningham's to your Patrick Mahomes. And that's the evolution of the position. And now people are growing up wanting to be Cale Makar, and people are looking up to Cale Makar, and he is an easy face for not just the team, the state, but the league. And he does it effortlessly.
And go look where he was on that goal that he scored. He's below the dots. You know what I mean? So he just has that, offensive ability and that awareness to, hey, Nathan McKinnon he's weaving in and out of traffic right now. Let me go let me just not get right across the blue line and park myself. Let me get down into the zone below the dots, and I'll find some open ice, and he will find me. That's just not what most defenders do. But I say most, but you are getting like a new crop of guys doing that, being more offensive minded. Hey, I'm not just going to cross into our offensive zone and then this is where I stop. He went down, he made himself available. And the other part of it is Nathan McKinnon knew he would be there.
Yeah.
So it's got to work on both ends where, even your offensive guys know that your defensive guys are engaged offensively, and there's none better than him. It's just so much fun to watch. And like, it's just, there's a different vibe about watching a hockey game when guys like Cale Makar are skating around, because you don't see it a lot. Not a lot of guys have the hockey IQ and ability that he does.
I think he's the NHL's closest equivalent you're going to get to a Shohei Ohtani. Because
wow, yeah,
because Shohei can pitch, he can hit and contribute on both. Cale Makar can play offense and defense from the defensive position to where it's not compromising either one.
Put goalie pads on him. Let's see what we can do.
Yeah,
throw him in net. That's he could do it all. There's nothing he can't do. So, all right, we'll get to our subtext people. We'll get over to the stats too, because I do want to bring. There was a lot going on the stat sheet that we have to give some people some credit here. So we'll do that, and of course our sound check, all that next. Let's hear from FanDuel. We've heard it before. The NCAA tournament down to the Final Four. Look at Mr. Sullivan dancing over there. He has gone dancing officially. That's FanDuel is giving you the chance to get in on the action like never before. And right now, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets when your first $5 bet wins. That's $200 extra when an extra bucks, I should say, to use on everything from buzzer beaters to Cinderella stories, and even who's going to cut down the nets. Who's that going to be, Kyle?
It's going to be Bruce Pearl.
I think so. So
Auburn Tigers.
Go visit FanDuel.com and get in on the college hoops action all tournament long right now. Kyle's going to be a happy man pretty soon here. When is it? This weekend?
Yep. Come Monday, national championship.
Oh boy, get excited. All right, let's run down the stat sheet here quickly because it was impressive. Charlie Coyle gets a goal. We didn't even really talk about him, and that's our bad. But beautiful goal by him, and his first since he got traded. So really, really nice goal on the rush. So he had that goal, 2 assists also for Mr. Coyle. So a 3-point night for him. Brock Nelson had that 1 goal. Valenchuskin, nothing. What's up, Val? I mean, come on now. 7 goals and you couldn't get anything here? No, I mean, I'm kind of being a little bit harsh, but
you did get a taser laser.
You did. He also got a Parker Kelly laser.
Yeah.
So very nice goal from him. Jack Drury with an assist. Miles Wood with an assist and a goal for Mr. Miles Wood. McKinnon got the goal and 2 assists, so a 3-point night for him. Arturi Lehkonen gets on the board with an assist. So that's just your forwards, Kyle. The only ones that didn't score, like I said, Val, Ross Colton, Logan O'Connor, VC didn't score, and Kiviranta didn't score. But, that's just, it doesn't say that they weren't involved. I think everybody was involved, but that's just what it is. On the defensive end, Lindgren, Middleton, and Malinsky didn't score anything. You got Makar with the goal and 2 assists, so a 3-point night for him. Taves with a goal and 2 assists, a 3-point night for him. And Eric Johnson got an assist. So how many 3-point nights is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 people with, you had Coyle, McKinnon, and then Taves and Makar. That's just up and down the lineup. And that, again, going back to what we said in the beginning of the episode, that's with 2 very important offensive pieces not in this game.
Yep.
Crazy. Not
to
bad.
where you used to really overanalyze, like even one injury. You had 2 and didn't miss a beat.
Nope. Not at all. So let's see what some people over on Subtext had to say about this. We got Cody. Said Coyle certainly introduced himself in this game. Makar got his 30th, which was awesome. If he doesn't get the Norris, then clearly it's rigged. Mac reclaimed the scoring title from Kucherov, which is true. Clinched a spot in the playoffs. In the process, all around, good night. Although some people had an issue with Blackwood, and sure, he didn't have the best game, but he's far from being Georgiev Part 2, like some of them were saying. So a lot here, because I want to say like Coyle introduced himself. I think Coyle's been playing very well for this team.
Mm-hmm.
He's not going to have 3-point nights all the time. It's not how he's built. It's not what they're asking him to do. It's nice that he did that. But I wouldn't say like this is an introduction to the Avs. Maybe on the scoring front it is, because it's nice to see like, hey, he could do that if you need him to. That's nice. So if you have injuries, maybe if you need to bump him up, you got to do that. He's capable of doing that. He's been around for a while. He's a veteran. He can do it. So in that aspect, I'm sure, like I kind of agree with Cody there, but I think Coyle's been fine since he came over. He's fit in very nicely.
Yeah, and I'll hit both of those points. Coyle has been slowly building to this moment. You knew it was coming. You never had a doubt and any question marks about Coyle. And to the Blackwood detractors, he had a 900 save percentage. Like
exactly.
That's 900 save percentage. At the beginning of the year, we would have been screaming, Georgie, get the Vezina for that kind of performance. Like, it's okay. A semi-good night, this is fine. It's going to happen. And the goals were not the greatest that he let in. The team still won, and he had 900 save percentage. It's okay.
Yeah. The first one, was that the power play one? Did they get one on the power play? Or it was, let me see. No, it was just a rebound. There was a rebound that, that's tough for anybody to stop. The other two, like the second one, just I don't think he was expecting the shot to come, because that was just there was a lot of congestion over there in the corner, and I got it up here. Who Aston Reese just kind of flung it right on net, and he wasn't ready for it. So
neither was Lindgren or Malinsky.
No, exactly. It was all around. There's a lot of people around, and I don't know how he got that much velocity on that shot, but he wasn't ready for it. And the other one just kind of popped out of his glove. It was ugly. But those are things that you can then, clean up. And I don't feel bad about those goals that he gave up. I think he's fine. He's fine.
But you know what? I'm glad he had a game like this now, or it doesn't really matter. And clean it up, build on it.
Yeah. Craig says, so happy the Avs clinched tonight. I was a bit worried about tonight with how they played last night, but most of the guys were firing all cylinders. Blackwood seemed a little rusty, but he improved. Let's keep this rolling and end the Blues winning streak. That is, if the Penguins don't end it first. Yeah, because they are playing right now. Let me check that score. If you want to make any comments on.
And that's what you want to do. You want to start building. And I'm glad he had a rusty game. Like you want I I'm still very confident in what Blackwood can bring you
sure.
as a goalie.
Yep. Blues won in overtime, by the way. So they continue to roll. Did they? Let me see. Like halfway through overtime. So there you go.
Play Gloria.
Let's see who else we got here. Electrician Ziggy, 4 players. There you go. 4 players with 3-point night. Should have read his comment before I tried to do it on the fly. Ridiculous. The puck moved well tonight. I thought as it went on, it did. I would go back to what I said earlier. I just felt like there was a little bit stuck in the mud, maybe to start the game, but that could just be attributed to playing the night before and a quick turnaround. And once you get in the routine and the roll, running into rolling through a game, getting through a first period that you scored 2 goals in, I thought they were fine after that. So
yeah, I liked it going downhill from the second period.
Yeah. So, and let's see if there was one other we had. Charles said, I'm sure everyone else covered the main points. So I'll say I love seeing Miles Wood get a goal. Very nice, very well said.
Yeah.
Our perennial like Miles Wood here. What's that?
Our perennial scorer.
Yeah, right. I think we all like Miles Wood. Who knows what the offseason holds for him, but you can't ever deny the guy's work ethic because he's always going to go out there and give you 110%. So
he's a bulldog.
Yep, exactly. All right, let's do our sound check and then wrap this thing up. This is where Kyle and I pick a song that we think summarizes the most recent game. Put these songs up on a playlist over on Spotify, which you can follow along. Just search LOA Soundcheck Volume number 4 is where you can find all these songs. What do you have for this one? 7-3 Avalanche over the Columbus Blue Jackets.
Hey, Avalanche fans, check on your friends on social media because first we're going to rock, then we're going to roll, then we let it pop, go, let it go. X going to give it to you.
I'm like, you're saying the words. I'm like, I'm playing in my head. I know the cadence of this. What is it? Yes. Okay.
X going to give it. Wait, Avalanche, they have clinched their spot in the playoffs. Everybody put the X next to your name on social media. We have all clinched together. X going to give it to you by the great DMX. Rest in peace.
Fits very well. Yeah. And go do that if you haven't already. Yesterday I went with Audioslave and Doesn't Remind Me, because how the Avalanche played didn't really remind me of anything. I didn't intend to do this, but I guess I'm going to stick with the kind of like the Audioslave vibe, but like deconstructing it a little bit because this is just Tom Morello on his own. So the guitar parts from Audioslave and Rage Against the Machine, his solo, the Night Watchman stuff. He does a song that's featuring Ben Harper, who's one of my all-time favorites.
Yeah.
And the name of the song is called Raising Hell. So that's what I'm going to go with because it's more of it's kind of like all inclusive of kind of what the Avs did last night, and Cale Makar, flat out Cale Makar. He does it. He raises hell and he makes life hell for opponents. So I kind of had to go in that direction. So that's what I went with.
Great.
Enjoy it. It's a fun one. So, all right, everybody, that is going to wrap it up for today. We will likely be recording on Saturday. That's when that game is, right? Because I don't think we want to wait to talk about that one.
No.
So we'll probably have a weekend episode for everybody on Saturday. So tune into that one. Big game against the Blues. All right. Thank you for tuning in, making this one your first listen of the day. That is always appreciated. He's Mr. Shaggy Von Doom, Kyle Sullivan. I am Chris Maselli. This is the Locked On Avalanche podcast, where you just made it through another 24 hours where Sidney Crosby's that much closer to being with the Colorado Avalanche.
He couldn't beat the Blues.
Amazing.